access the menu on the left and click on Anonymization, Pseudonymization. We go to the menu on the right and choose the Files option. A screen will open in which you must drag and drop the desired file or click on the Select Files button and choose them from the local system. Once this is done, we press the Continue button. The next step is to choose the substitution modality that we want our files to have, both to anonymize, irreversibly, and to pseudonymize, reversibly. Masking, only for anonymization, is the concealment of data by asterisk or blacklining, black boxes. Tokenization is the replacement of data by tokens made up of a prefix indicating the info type, per, loc, web, dat, and the numerator, to differentiate them. In substitution by synthetic data, the data is replaced by others of the same nature. Example, if it is a male name with surnames, it will be replaced by another male name with other surnames. Once the substitution method has been chosen, we select the configuration that we want to apply to the document. To configure the exceptions, we select the configuration that we want to apply to the document. Among the options will appear all the positive and negative exception configurations that have been saved. If it is not necessary to apply any specific configuration, the default configuration, default, will be applied, which does not contain positive or negative exceptions. To configure the info types, we select the configuration that we want to apply to the document. Among the options will appear the different info type configurations that have been saved. If you do not want to apply any specific configuration, the default configuration will be applied by default, which contains all the active info types. The next screen shows a summary of the operation that has been configured. Before giving the Start Process button, you have to pay close attention to this step. If the documents you want to anonymize have a large part of the information in portrait or orientation other than the standard one, it is recommended that you activate the Optimization of Text Detection in Different Orientations tab for a better reading of the document and, therefore, better anonymization. Otherwise, it is not recommended to activate it because processing times are increased. Now yes, we start the process and an animation will appear indicating that the process is in progress. The process ends with the presentation of this screen, at which time the browser downloads the anonymized file. Depending on your computer's configuration, the document will be downloaded to the previously configured folder or it will ask you where you want to store it. If you want to anonymize or pseudonymize digital signatures, handwritten signatures, QR codes or barcodes in the documents to be processed, it is necessary to activate this functionality in the Start Process step. In this case, we will test it with digital signatures, activating the option in the corresponding section where we are asked the following. Do you want to remove digital signatures from the document? Once this option is activated and the process is started, Nymiz will automatically detect digital signatures, handwritten signatures, QR codes and barcodes, removing them from the document. This functionality is available for both anonymization and pseudonymization and under all replacement methods. It is important to note that none of these options are reversible. Once the elements have been anonymized or pseudonymized, it is not possible to recover them. In addition, we always work with a blacklining method, which guarantees the visible and secure removal of these elements within the process document. Nymiz allows you to customize the anonymization process and monitor it manually. In this way, you will be able to edit the result proposed by Nymiz, including or excluding from anonymization everything that you consider appropriate. We upload the files and select the anonymization procedure and review the configuration of exceptions and info types that we want to apply. Before starting the process, we must activate the button Do you want to monitor manually? Once activated, click on Start Manual Supervision Process. Once the document has been processed, we access the section where the user can edit the result proposed by Nymiz, before definitively downloading the protected document. The preview of the document shows in red the data that, if not edited, will be anonymized. In the same way, on the left side of the screen all the data to be anonymized are shown. You can do the manual anonymization process directly on the preview screen or work directly with the data that we find listed on the right of the screen. The data that Nymiz proposes to anonymize are presented underlined in red in the document. In case we want to keep visible a personal data that Nymiz initially proposes to anonymize, we can exclude it from the anonymization process in two simple ways. We select the data that we want to keep visible in the document itself and press the red button with the trash can symbol. In the list of words on the right, we can select the data that Nymiz proposes to anonymize and that we want to exclude from the process. Once selected, press the red button with the trash can symbol. With this functionality, the selected data will remain visible in the final document. However, we are only excluding specifically selected data from anonymization, that is, if the data is repeated throughout the document, it will continue to be anonymized. If you want to keep it visible throughout the entire document, it will be necessary to use the multiple de-anonymization option. If we want to include data in the anonymization process so that it is not visible in the final document, it is necessary to select the data in the document and click on the button with the plus symbol. The data will be anonymized. However, only the selected data will be anonymized, and may be visible in other points of the document where it appears repeated. If you wish to anonymize the data throughout the entire document, it will be necessary to use the multiple anonymization option presented below. If we want to anonymize a signature, a logo or a specific area of the document, we can do it. With the free anonymization option, the user can draw a rectangle that covers any part of the document so that Nymiz anonymizes it. How does it work? Very easy. We select the free anonymization button, we draw the area that we want to anonymize, and we select the free anonymization button again. In case you want to anonymize the area on all pages of the document, you can do so by selecting the duplicate button on all pages. To eliminate any free area that we have drawn, we can use the buttons with the trash can symbol to eliminate only one of the areas or all the previously duplicated ones throughout the document. Once the document has been supervised, we press the download button to obtain the download of our anonymized. Offers you the ability to anonymize multiple documents and even folders using batch processing functionality. How do we do it? In the menu located on the right of the screen, we select the batch processing section and access the initial screen where the instructions to follow are summarized. We select the Continue button and access the next step where it is necessary to name the batch and load the files or folders to be anonymized. In this case, we will call it Demo. Once the documents are loaded, press the Continue button to move forward. The next step is to choose the replacement modality that we want to apply. Masking is the hiding of data by asterisks or blacklining, black boxes. Tokenization is the replacement of data with tokens composed of a prefix that indicates the info type, per, loc, web, dat, and the numerator, to differentiate them. In substitution by synthetic data, the data is replaced by other synthetic data of the same nature. For example, if it is a male name with surnames, it will be replaced by another male name with other surnames. Once the replacement method has been chosen, we select the configuration that we want to apply to the document. To configure exceptions, we select the configuration that we want to apply to the document. All saved positive and negative exception settings will appear among the options. If it is not necessary to apply any specific configuration, the default configuration, default, will be applied, which does not contain positive or negative exceptions. To configure the info types, we select the configuration that we want to apply to the document. The different info type configurations that have been saved will appear among the options. If you do not want to apply any specific configuration, the default configuration containing all active info types will be applied by default. Click on Continue and we will directly access the Batch Process Monitoring section. This section allows us to monitor the progress by pressing the refresh button. Once finished, the files will be available for 5 days for download. After that time they will be deleted for security. In addition, it is also possible to delete the anonymized files or the process completely manually. To download the batch, we simply select the download icon. To customize the anonymization result you need, Nymiz allows you to easily configure which data you want to protect. To do this, go to the Settings section in the left menu. From here you can create as many settings as you need, or edit the default settings that are always available. Nymiz offers two types of exceptions. Positive exceptions, words that will not be anonymized and will remain visible. Negative exceptions, words that will always be anonymized. You can manage exceptions by editing the default settings or by creating a new custom setting with the name you want. For example, if you don't want the word Nymiz to be anonymized, add it as a positive exception. To do this, go to Exception Settings, select Default, and click the plus sign to add the words you want to keep visible. If, on the other hand, you want certain words to always be anonymized, follow the same procedure in the Negative Exceptions tab. To remove a word from any configuration, simply select it and click the trash can icon. If you need to create a new configuration, go back to the previous screen and click the plus button. Give the new configuration a name for easy identification and repeat the process of adding positive and negative exceptions, just as you would in the default configuration. What if I want to upload exceptions in bulk? Go to the desired configuration and click the arrow on the right. This will take you to a screen where you can add all the necessary exceptions in bulk, rather than individually. Info types are types of data that Nymiz can detect, such as names, addresses or license plates. You can enable or disable these info types depending on what you want to anonymize. For example, if you don't want to anonymize names, disable the per info type. As with exceptions, you can manage info types from the default configuration or create a custom configuration. This allows you to save specific combinations for different documents, making it easy to quickly apply them depending on the document type. Let's say you want to apply the following settings. Keep the word Nymiz visible. Anonymize power of attorney. Leave dates visible. We can create a new custom configuration with these characteristics or directly modify the default configuration. The process is the same as with exceptions, simply select the desired options, save them, and they will be ready to use. Once the configuration is created and saved, you will only need to select it when processing the document. Nymiz will automatically apply the custom rules you have defined, ensuring that the document is anonymized according to your specific needs. If you need to add more specific info types, you will need to contact our customer success team. They will be able to create a custom section of private info types according to your needs. To request this, send an email to customersuccess@nymiz.com, detailing the custom info types you wish to add. This list will be completely private and only you will have access to it.